Hello class, both virtually and in person. Good to see you all. I feel like I'm probably being real nervous in class, shaking from anxiety, turning red. Just please be nice to me, okay? I'm trying really hard right now. Anyways, as the title of this video and the shirt that I'm wearing right now probably give you a hint, I'm going to be talking about supporting a trans sibling. I'm going to talk about what to do, what not to do, why it's important to be supportive, and I have an exclusive interview with my sister. More to come. Let's go ahead and get started. So, your sibling came out to you as trans. What's the first step? Congratulate them. This is a huge step, and also thank them for sharing with you. This took a lot of courage. Now that you congratulated them, your automatic next step should be to ask them what you can do next. What's their preferred pronoun? Do they have a new name they'd like to prefer? Respect their choices and don't complain about how hard it'll be. Just do it. Of course, no one's perfect and mistakes happen. Correct yourself and move on. Again, don't make it about you. Next, it's important to remember that they are still the same person that they always have been before coming out to you as trans, and their whole personality will not revolve around them being trans. Talk with them like you always have. Something important to note as well is to educate yourself. It's not their job to teach you all the lingo or learn about what's going on in the world. Find out how you can get involved, join a support group, start your own group, learn how to become involved in their life. Now that we've covered what you should do, let's talk about what you should avoid doing when someone comes out to you as trans. Number 1, do not downplay what they just told you. It took a lot of courage and bravery for them to come out to you. Things like, oh, I always knew, or it's no big deal, really invalidates their feelings. So just listen and be receptive. And I already kind of hinted at this, but don't make this about you. This is their time to shine. They decided to share this news with you, and you have to be receptive to them. Next, don't question them. Don't ask questions like, are you sure? No, they just risked everything on a whim. Trust me, they've pondered this and they are sure about this, so do not question them. Next, remember, this isn't your story to tell. This is something that they are going to do on their own time with people that they feel safe. You could endanger their lives by sharing this information that is not yours to share, so please be respectful of that. It saddens me to say that trans people experience higher rates of homelessness. According to the Texas Homeless Network, a third of transgender adults have experienced homelessness, and trans people also have higher rates of attempted suicide at 44%. Showing your sibling your undying love and support means everything in the world. It can be the difference between life and death. As I've read in an article before, a mother who was very supportive of her son once said, "You could either have a dead daughter or an alive son. It is up to you." Please, 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 and I know I'm preaching to the choir, everyone in this class I'm sure is accepting, but please, if your sibling ever comes out to you as trans, just tell them that you love them and you're there for them, and you're just going to be there to support them no matter what. Now, as promised, I have an exclusive interview with my sister so she can talk to you about her experience. Alright, let's go get her for that interview.
What do you want?
Remember I told you about that interview for my class?
I told you I didn't want to do that.
So, Henry, how did you feel about coming out to me? Honestly, I was super nervous at this point. I had only realized my gender identity for about a year. I wasn't entirely confident, so I was still somewhat in doubt of myself at the time. I had literally rehearsed what I was going to say for weeks, and still wasn't sure if I could tell you or not, but I'm definitely glad I did. Were you worried that I wasn't going to react well to the news? I wasn't worried about whether you would accept me, more like worried that I could convince you that I actually was trans, because I wasn't exactly the most femme person, at least not in the ways that I showed openly at the time. And again, I still doubted myself often, so I wasn't entirely sure you'd believe. I know it sounds stupid now, but you know, hindsight and all that. And what did you like about my reaction? The fact that you didn't question me on whether or not I was trans. Also, the shocked face you made almost made me burst out laughing. Overall, the kind of reaction someone in my position could hope for, honestly. What have I done right in supporting you?
just how much you've done to make me feel comfortable. Using my preferred pronouns, being more open about more feminine things like showing me outfits. It's really just the cumulative small acts of acceptance you give that really mean a lot more than most people would think. What could I have done better to help you? The only thing that I can think of is how long it took for you to accept my chosen name. I mean, you weren't dead naming me. That was the whole point of making my middle name just the feminine version of my original name. But yeah, that's about it. I think I also thanked you when I noticed that you were actively using it without me prompting you to either. Again, it's really the small things that mean the most often. What advice would you give to someone whose sibling just came out to them as transgender? Just make sure they understand you support them, even if you make mistakes at times. Change requires adjusting, and it's not instant for either side. And it's okay. I want to add that for those coming out, please be patient with people you come out to. Coming out changes a lot of interpersonal dynamics, so they have to adjust to it. So if they mess up your pronouns or misname you, as long as it's not intentional, please try not to be upset about it. They're trying their hardest.